Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this relatively new YouTube channel, as if you can't tell that by the views and subscribers. But that's okay. Give it some time, like I'm doing, right? Nothing good comes easy. Look, for those of you new to this channel, well, you can look at the titles of the majority of the videos, especially the intro video, and see what this channel is supposed to be about. Okay? Line of factual the history, origins of racism, slavery, or slavery, then everything in between that, and after that, until now. What this particular video, those videos are an attempt at a healing journey that many of you, I'm sure, feel is impossible for people to heal about racism and slavery and things like that. And any regards to all things are possible through Christ who strengthens us. Most of the Christians that go to church services, whether it's online now because of Zoom, haven't been on for a minute, so I'm sure there's a lot going on because of the election cycle, the ending of the election cycle, if you will. More in for some. Congratulations to whoever feel that they are winners, and for those that don't feel that they're winners, angry, upset, disillusioned. Tends to be a group of those every election cycle if you're going to be, because people celebrate and they're excited. It's just like sports. Yeah, you got two teams and they both being rooted for, and I don't care how well they play or don't play. The bottom line is who gets the score, right? And then so the one that wins, they're like, yeah, oh my gosh, and give the interview at the end about all, what they did to win when they could have been screwing up the whole time. And then you have the other teams, the cameras go over to them where they give them the it's not necessarily Gatorade, but whatever kind of electrolyte. Excuse me. I was eating a little piece of store-bought red velvet cake. Okay, that's not even close to my great grandmother's recipe. So, not to get off the topic, but if y'all didn't get that much, you're probably not gonna get much, because the bottom line is, as important as elections are in politics, times, and what I didn't do because I had a technical difficulty issue when I've tried to live stream this about 15 minutes ago, and I didn't turn my light on, and I went down and the whole thing went off, and I had to start over. So I may have the beginning of this video where it went bloop, but I usually give honor to God first, Christian, not as a preachy to you, beat you over the head with the Bible, clearer than thou, no, not like that. But I just kind of do a little pause, hesitation thing when the system is resetting itself. But anyway, not like I'm better than everybody else, because I'm not. Because if I did, first of all, I would look better. Let's start there. Look at my hair. Look at what I got. Do I look like I'm trying to compete with somebody? Okay, so no, this is not about me being better than anyone. I love and care about everyone. And as corny as that may sound, and I'm going to tell you why it sounds corny, because most people don't feel that way. Most people don't. And if they do, I can't tell, because they don't say it and they don't act it. And actions speak louder than words. You can say it, but if you don't act like you care about everybody, well, then boo on that. According to scripture in the Holy Bible, the Tree bears its fruit. And a good tree doesn't bear bad fruit. And a bad tree doesn't bear good fruit. It's just really that simple. Look it up. Let me write that down. Well, I don't have to really write it down, but let me write down that I owe you all. So there's a few things I may mention, especially when it gets to, if I'm talking about documentary, a scripture from the Bible. I have to make a note because I'm not a spring chicken, but I ain't no rooster either, but I have to make sure that I make a reference because everybody doesn't understand the Bible as well as the next person, or may not be religious or spiritual, may not be a Christian, may not have a really strong faith or a Christian walk, maybe younger than me. And so I don't want to just pop off and say things without backing it up with evidence. Okay. But with regards to scripture, make me a note here. I know that. For one, nothing being impossible through Christ, which strengthens us. I think that's Philippians. Y'all know it, folks out there. And then two, whatever it was, I was just saying it'll come back to me, but I was talking about the giving honor to God first. So if you're not spiritual, I'm not sorry. I was gonna say sorry, but no, not sorry. I am. So put God first, and then what everybody else is talking about is meaningless. If it's negative. So I'm gonna put God first. Thank you, Jesus, for being alive. Talking about the election, talking about this candidate versus that one, and this group versus what? Let's vote that first. I'm a little irritated, I'm gonna be honest, but that's okay because being a Christian, you have to show a good attitude and character and traits and stuff. That you don't have feelings. And I know right now a lot of people's feelings are raw and hurt. And a lot of people are celebrating. I've even seen some, even though the song was na 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 hey, goodbye and all that, like people do at sporting events. I don't know. It's like the political climate of the election. Oh, it's a sporting event now. I get it because people have been suffering, losing loved ones. God bless those who have died from COVID-19, dying in the hospital right now, cases rising. Children infected is ridiculous. Teachers, doctors, uh, the helpless, elderly in the nursing homes mostly, and then wherever else, vulnerable populations, and then regular people, and people that and the COVID mysteries and all of this stuff. God bless you all and touch you and keep you if you're still here alive, and that you get well ASAP and don't catch it again before they can come up with some good. It's going to be several, I believe, good vaccine, reliable vaccines, and more treatments. Thank God they've come up with they have quite a few treatments. Praise the Lord, since the beginning of it, back earlier this year. And again, for those who have loved ones, because I don't want to lose a loved one. I don't even want a loved one to catch COVID. The smaller version, alone medium to large to death. And I haven't, and praise God. And for the I give any of my little 1 cent that nobody has to care about it. I have the right to free speech like the next human. But I don't care any speech before I care about God or before I care about other people suffering. That's just me. Anybody that knows me knows that. But who cares, right? I'm saying it right here and now. Did nobody know me? If I was a hermit living on a troll living under a bridge and nobody knew me or cared, people suffering. I don't care what color they are, what religion, what political affiliation, who's still counting votes. And now, don't get me wrong. Congratulations, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm not confused if somebody's looking at this and thinking whether or not I'm white or black or mixed or a minority of some sort. Hold. If I voted Democrat and I voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Carrot. I was at Harris. Harris. Not carrots. I'm eating. I'm sorry. But not really. I'm starving because I'm going to tell y'all why I'm starving. Kamala Harris. Gotta watch what's in your cup because I was eating some grapes. The other day I saw something in my cup. I was like, oh my gosh, what's that? When I first it was a stem off a grape because I had grapes in the cup and rinsed them out. And I guess that one was left in there. And can you imagine seeing that in your milk? Ooh, okay. So, first of all, let's get some stuff straight. Yes, got an unstable connection, but I still want to. I want to be straight with you all. Since I said I love and care and everybody about everybody, I put God first. God is my Father in heaven. God is my protector. God is my, and He loves me. So I ain't studying with nobody's, thinking about me. And to anyone new coming across this new channel of mine, if you're watching, thank you. God bless you in everything you do, your life, your future endeavors, your hopes, and your dreams, whoever you are. Now, how come people can't just be like that? Instead of if you're black, that's, I'm not talking about like, unless it's a crying shame. Look, even though the Bible and the Lord's covenant of marriage wants us to be married before we have sex, we all know that. That's not true. However it happened, when a child is created from two people getting together, another angel graced the earth, whatever race, culture, whatever, he or she, or if it's multiples, they did not ask. First of all, let's do the ABCs. Let's go back to ABC. First, I said ABC, that's the same as 1, 2, 3. Because if you don't get it in 3, you're not probably going to get it. If I go to 4, 5, and 6, your attention span is short. Most people's attention span is short. You bore easily unless somebody's showing you their private parts or acting up. Don't want to really hear nothing serious unless you're serious minded. And if you're serious minded, you're probably doing something serious minded. So you probably don't have time to be looking at what I'm talking about, this serious minded, because you're doing something right. So not to put down the silly people and that do funny things and entertaining, because I see stuff on YouTube that has me laughing so hard, and laughter is healing and cracking up. That thank you for making me laugh. Do I agree with whatever your content might be that might be making me laugh? No, but if it's somehow funny and I'm a human being, plus I'm goofy and I laugh my head off till my stomach hurts, well, thanks for the laughter part anyway. And if it was decent and it made me laugh, well, extra points for you. If I seem just a little bit all over the place still, so who isn't? Please leave a comment on this channel if you're not all over the place. I'd like to know that. I don't have to know who you are. That's your privacy and your personal business. But I really would like to know that you're not all over the place. Leave a comment and tell me that. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll be like, you lying. I'm not on one. Watch. You think I forgot where I was at, don't you? Wrong. When a child graced this earth, did they pick their parents? Did they pick their culture, their location, their population, religion, so forth and so on? No, we don't get to pick who we're born to, what kind of parents we have, what kind of family we have, what kind of neighborhood we're born in, what kind of race we're going to be, what kind of culture. Really? And so that's some kind of way a talking point. That's a shame. Somebody was bored out of their mind. Ignorant as heck. You know, I was going to say ignorant as hell. That too. Ignorant as heck. Because when you see those beautiful babies in the maternity ward, or whatever, sometimes people have babies in emergencies. They don't have a clue who they are, who you are. All they know is they don't even, if I hesitate, it's because the connection is resetting. Okay. So I don't want it to look like the movement and talking or cutting off or whatever. So if I repeat things, it's because I'm thinking you didn't get it. So like I said, if I repeat things, it's because I'm thinking you didn't get it because the connection is unstable. Anyway, yeah, they're in the maternity ward. I don't even know. You know, they learn things. They don't come out saying nigger or, you know, whatever. They don't even come out talking, period. So let's start there. So when they can talk, when a human being can talk, his first words are mama, dada, in most cultures, and maybe in their language or whatever, because that's who's feeding them. That's their DNA. That's the mother carried them. There's a bond, it's blood tie, it's all of that. So use their first words, not nigger. This is word for some other culture and whatnot. I have not been racially mistreated a lot in my life, thank God, because I know how to pray and stay out the way. I've observed racism. You know, when I could tell somebody's like, I don't want her near me or him near me because they're black. But I'll share this with you real quick. Now I'm going to get back to it real quick. Well, the bottom line is I said it, you know, babies don't come out, hello, ugly, or hello, fat man, or whatever. So that stuff is taught, is learned from environment or whatever. So shame on the adults that have babies and family members that are infants and toddlers and young and stuff, and say and do all kinds of things around them that are wrong, inhuman, inhumane, same thing, ungodly, evil, ugly, nasty, dirty. You're not even giving that child a chance to be him or her own good, hopefully good self. Is just rotting them out right out from the okay corral. You know, really. So a big racism story that I have for myself, example, I'll say it's not a story. Walking down the street shortly after high school, a minute ago, and just thinking just as normal before I went into the military to serve this country, the United States of America, to serve. Yes, I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran. I'm a retired, totally and permanently disabled veteran at that. Couldn't tell? What was you looking for? PTSD? I got another quick one on that one. But real quick, not a lot of racism experiences straight out in your face. Overt. That's like straight out in your face. Covert stuff, we're going to get into that real quick too. So that's my 1, 2, 3. So I'm on 1 still. So walking down the street to the corner store to get some chips or candy or something or whatever before I went to leave for the Army. And I was living, believe it or not, ironically, I just thought pretty well off. I didn't, but I was living with a white, well, I don't know if I want to say family, and I don't even want to say couple, because I haven't talked to them anymore, but they were really sweet. It was 2 ladies. One was older than the other. They were very well off. They traveled a lot. And For a few months, I lived with them. As a matter of fact, may show it to you guys one day, but my prom dress was borrowed from the younger one. She was gorgeous. Oh my gosh. And it was beautiful. Well, I couldn't afford a prom dress, let's known nothing, right? And so she fixed me all up like I was like freaking Elizabeth Taylor or somebody. And the prom, I was too dressed up for my prom. I was about 35 years old. But you know, in a rich kind of Grace Kelly kind of way. But anyway, I went and stayed on. It was boring. It was just about a group of 6 of us, double date couples. Y'all know how I go. We straight up left, climbed in a whoever's little beat up car. Somebody had a car. Because all that limo, I spent every dime I could muster up on my good old $200 weave job to match that fancy dress. So I know I was broke. We end up at like Denny's or IHOP or somewhere, stay up late. That was prom because we stayed. I have a few pictures that we all took of each other at the door. Went in there and had bunk music, and then a table with a punch bowl and some cookies and stuff. We were like, oh, really? We took a few pictures of our little couple groups or whatever, and we bounced. That was prom. I didn't even want no class ring. I didn't even like my high school. Anyway, not to get too negative, but before I left home to go off to the Army, I'm walking down the street, and like I was saying, I was living with white people because basically I was getting ready to leave for the Army anyway. When you're 18, you think you're grown, and you're not. But at least this in most countries call you the age of majority. You don't even know how to write a check yet. In most cases, if you have your driver's license, don't have a clue. But since I didn't have any legal guardians and I was 18, I didn't have to stay with anybody. I wanted to stay where I wanted to stay. And I met these young ladies through another friend of mine, a black friend of mine. And they said we could stay with them. Really, we were house sitting. That's kind of what it's called now. We didn't know that. That's what we were doing is we were basically staying at their house because they were going to be gone for like 2 months. And we were good because they were like, y'all can eat anything you want. It was steaks in the freezer. And I was like, this is just wonderful. Looking back, it might have been a white lesbian couple. And I'm talking about looking back on certain things I came across. Not really snooping, but I was looking in drawers and stuff, especially when I was like wearing some of their clothes and stuff. Back in the Gap, right? So I didn't know. They were real nice and sweet. And like I said, the younger one, oh my gosh, she supermodel. I don't know how come she went somewhere in New York on the runway. Because I tried, but well, I just didn't have the support to push any career. Yeah, violent, right? Because if people don't care about people in North Korea and Syria and all kind of people out there, folks suffering, people that get murdered, raped, serial killed. If you don't care about it, I just said, but I'm gonna finish this little part. Because the reason why I'm talking like this and I'm rocking my head and doing all that, do somebody think it has something to do with it? So then you'll know. No, I'm doing all this because I care and I don't care. I care about people. I care about you guys. I care about myself. I care about people. I care about you guys. I care about myself. I repeated that because that's how I feel, and also because the computer was resetting. But also because I already know. I got the t-shirt and the soundtrack. Been there, done that. I already know most people could care less than a dime. Of all ages, that's what's so sad. It used to be you could count on the wisdom of the elders, and you still can. You still should respect your elders, especially much older people, seniors. And look how they died. It's pitiful, just disrespect. Of the count on the wisdom of people who were wise, whether it was a wise doctor or a wise teacher or a wise preacher, whatever. Now it's so all over the place. You got teachers, doctors, quote unquote, Gen Z, millennial, a parent, older sibling, whatever, acting the same. Like, what's up with that? What's wrong with them? Who is setting the example? Who is which one, which role is which one is the figure of authority, the figure of wisdom, advice, and proper etiquette and character and behavior. It flew out the window. So I know y'all like, okay, get to the story about when you were staying with the two white ladies who were gone out of town of the whole 2 months you lived in their house. Didn't mean to be speaking in second person, but y'all, I do remember my own stuff, but it's so much stuff. Something else pop up, and then I got to get back to that, and you be thinking I don't forgot it, and I didn't. You know what? I don't even know why I have my glasses on because I'm not reading nothing right now. Just that I can't read words without them, but I want to talk to y'all straight. So I'm finna get back to the people house I was in it. I watched the latest current news. I like to keep up on current events because back in the gap in school, current events was a part of our curriculum. So I guess I don't know if that else would read the newspapers and stuff like that. But anywho. And I know it pops up on our phones and stuff. So hey, I'm not that antiquated. Don't go there. I'm just saying. People read a whole lot more and kept up with what was going on around them. Before I did this live stream, that I didn't bust out, do a live stream, and something just happened, and I didn't even give, my condolences or credence to it, or I'm all wrong, or I'm all over. I didn't want to do that, so I did just check, and I stopped at Oprah's favorite things because it shows you like kind of the latest little topics and stuff when you click on, and then you get MSN, and then it shows you all these little. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you click on your computer. Or if you sign out of your email, then you see like all the latest little topics and headlines for you to click on and see who's saying what, And I just stopped at Oprah's favorite things because when I watched the Oprah show of her 25-year career, loved it. There are some things that I really, really, really could discuss with Miss Winfrey right about now. Y'all probably looking at me like, fat chance that you ever getting that chance. I didn't say that I would be able to. I said I would really like to. Whether I get the opportunity or not, that's not up to y'all. One is up to God too. See, you expect that, did you? Probably thinking she kind of got a smart mouth. I can't stand sarcastic people. So I'm just being myself at home. This is my scarf that I haven't worn yet, that I bought not long ago. You see, it still got that little buy ring on it for the winter, hanging there. I haven't cleaned up his stuff everywhere. And I'm a germaphobe, and I love things being clean and decent and in order, as you should as a Christian. But like I said, there's some things I would like to discuss with Miss Winfrey right about now. Oh, is everybody thinking that it has something to do with money because the lady is rich and I want to ask her for some? Well, I've got some ideas, but no, that's not what it's about. See? Judge. Unstable connection. I'll just say that. That way y'all don't know because I'm like looking like y'all can see what I'm looking at. Okay. Unstable connection is over. Judge me. You judge people from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. Some of y'all, like I just did that. It was not a total clean shave. Somebody will judge it. You know what? I'm so sick sick, do pray and connection issue. Pray and stay away. That's my motto. Until God, or unless God orders my steps or directs me to do this, say that, deal with this person and that one. So it's all good. Anyway, so back to the little event. When I was living with these two very well off, um, middle aged and quite young white ladies, house sitting, but still living there because I ain't had nowhere to stay technically. I mean, I could have been staying at my great grandmother's house, but I only had a couple months before going into the military. I didn't, it is when you 18, you're like, I want to do, this and that. And to be honest, I had a boyfriend, so y'all know how that go. Who you think was over there, we were at them people's house. But the thing of it is, they knew we were there. They asked us to stay. He's a big, strong guy. And we were both very respectful people and nice young teenagers. And he lived close to them. And they were like, y'all can stay here if you want to. And they know they was wrong, but it's not like they was preaching the gospel for letting us stay there as teenagers, 18 years old, just graduating from high school. He was fixing to go to college, and I was supposed to be going to college, and got academic scholarships to go, and just felt so agitated and aggravated with my surroundings, I'll leave it like that I decided to give them charity and not go. And an Army recruiter came to our school like they do. You're in your 12th grade. And I liked what she was talking about and showing me and about military service. It was new to me. I didn't know anything. I was like, total Private Benjamin. Look it up. That's old school. That was the black version. So you just mix Private Benjamin, G.I. Jane, on the South Side. And with Demi Moore, the movie she played, and Lucille Ball, and those are all white women. So I'm black. So mix those together and make it a black woman, and that's who I was in the military at first before I learned what to do, that or whatever, because I was completely green. I was on drill team in high school. The whole cutesy thing, like, oh my, didn't have nothing to do with the military. I was like, all that hollering and screaming from drill sergeants and stuff. I was like, what is wrong with y'all? What you hollering and screaming for? You right? Get out of my face, spitting and carrying on. You be best you back up. Because I can hear you. You don't have to be hollering and screaming. And I wasn't scared. A lot of the other ones, I noticed because most people go in are like 18 or they just turned 18 or 19 or 20. We had a few 24 and maybe a couple 29-year-olds, people that, come in later. And I'm not even a violent person or a fighter or nothing like that, because on a safe connection that I do not believe in violence. It is ignorance for animals. Instinctually, they fight each other for food or for territory. So man has the higher intellect. What are we doing? Fighting and being violent. That's ignorance. So, and then being scratched up and cut to go to emergency room, shot up and stuff. Got on a wig or weave, embarrassed, pull off. Back in the government, women used to pull each other bras off, and I try to expose each other's privacy and stuff to other people. Well, how is that part of the fight? That's exposing people's bodies and stuff. What are you fighting there? Fist fight, kaboom, boxing, wrestling, whatever. What is snatching people bras off and tearing their clothes? And so, oh, I get it. You're doing the defamation of character fight. You want to ruin their reputation by showing their undergarments or their uncombed hair or whatever. Ooh, what a knockout. Okay, so let's get this over with about staying at these people's house. And thank God for them, because they were very nice. They were very sweet. We had a wonderful time having a luxurious house to live in. We kept their house clean, kept it safe. They felt safe that we were there. And we had already decided, my high school sweetheart and I, that, He was going on with his football scholarships to college, to university, and I was giving mine up because he came from a middle class family and he had support and all of that, plus he, football. And I did not. I came from crappity poo, poverty, this, that, and the third. And I just was tired. I didn't want to see another sheet of paper. I needed a break. I didn't want to see a pen, a pencil, all that straight A student and stuff. Okay, great. That's wonderful when you're capable of making straight A's all through school. Everybody cannot do that, and that is a blessing. And I thank God for it then and now. That kind of talent and ability, it carries you through life. And in my case, I needed every bit of talent or attribute that I was born with to help me survive. Mostly being on my own, kind of fending and feeding myself since age 14, 13-ish, 14, with some guidance from an older, much near 90-year-old relative, but no parents and all of that, So, and other family members around, hey, they had to survive and do their thing. So hooking up and having fun, key caca parties, fish fries and stuff, that's all wonderful and great. But as far as helping me survive, support, this and that, advise, I got your back. Oh, you want to be a singer or this and that? Have y'all seen my album on my CD? Did y'all see it? Did y'all see me in New York on the runway modeling? No. So then I shouldn't have to tell you that the supports wasn't there. And in fairness for my family, since parents and all that died early and all that, they didn't have support either. So I guess that's why it wasn't that supportive. They needed some support. So it is what it is. So don't think I'm like ranting and raving and putting my family down and all of that. It is what it is. So I'm walking to the store. Okay, so that was like, 20 minutes ago about the walking to the store racism part, the example. I just had to make sure you guys understood that the reason why I'm able to give this example, friends, is just as lily white as they call it as she can be. I love her. Straight way. Very much so. Okay, connection, what you call it? Uh, and all my black friends and my black people, period. And I'm black and black Indians and everybody. Didn't I say I love everybody? We gonna get this straight before it's all over with, trust and believe. So going to the corner store, right? Do 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 do. Leaving out of a middle class, wealthy white home. Leaving out of there, had been there 2 months, so obviously hadn't broken in the place, had a key. So I'm sure the neighbors were maybe watching, but determined that there were no police that came over or anything. So obviously I hadn't broken in. I had been going to the high school right up the corner from it, the street. So I was not a scary person in the neighborhood. And the closer I got to the corner store, I don't know, not even, so many houses from the house I was temporarily lodging in. So appreciatively. It was the one of the cutest because I've got kids myself, and every mother feels like their kid is the cutest thing ever graced the planet. And as far as I'm concerned, that's true because every woman that carries a child, whether it's to delivery, whether it's to preterm, whether it's to unfortunate too early of a delivery, and they still develop that love bond with that baby, that fetus, whatever that particular fetus, that particular baby, that particular child is the most beautiful thing because it comes from that internal nurturing and that suffering and pain that women go through with regards to pregnancy and childbirth. So yeah, Every woman's child is gorgeous. They're more gorgeous than the other one, but just gorgeous to them, not even a comparison to other people. Just it's gorgeous to you. It's so much love it exudes, and then it goes beyond an eyesight or a natural beauty. It's something instinctual and maternal and within. So I see this gorgeous. It's like I could see her from before I got to her from a distance, about 4 houses away. Little girl, she was about two-ish. So between 2 and 3, when you can talk, and some kids talk and walk much earlier, especially girls. She was a little girl. The fairest of hair, blonde, white girl. I saw her beauty from 4 or 5 houses down. That little girl was so daggone me cute, it didn't make sense. She looked like a living doll. And so that, like that word ethereal, like fairy, angel, like whatever these images, that show etherealism and all this. That's how she looked, like a little angel. She was just so adorable. The cutest of hair and everything. The bluest of eyes, really light blue, like husky eyes, like a husky dog, just beautiful, piercing, and she was just looking my way. And she, as I was getting close enough to their house, she was my concern is, I mean, the piercing beauty, I got that. But my biggest thing was, as an 18-year-old now, a teen, and I didn't like kids that much. Like, in other words, I wasn't ready for marriage and kids. Put it like that's what I mean. It's not that I didn't like kids. It's just I didn't like them enough to have one. Thank God, right? I didn't. Some teenagers, that's what they do. Whether it's a mistake, an accident, or they feel lonely and they do it. Blah, blah, y'all don't think Teen Mom. But the thing of it is, I didn't know I wanted no kids, no husband, no none of that. I wanted a life. I wanted to survive. I wanted a roof over my head, food, clothing, and shelter. And to be cared about, or at least respected enough as to be a human being. Let's start there. I wasn't thinking about no husband and kids and none of that. So people, I would babysit, and entertain and family gather and put on a show. But you better keep them kids somewhere else, because I didn't have time. Because there was the skating rink and the bowling alley and stuff. I was a real teenager. Real teen practice. I didn't have time for no kids. So anyway, I was thinking to myself, why is she at the edge of the driveway, where if a car just came a little bit too close, she would have been hit. So shame on her parents for starters. I was thinking to myself, is this a girl finna run out in the street? What in the world? So as I was paying attention to this ethereal beauty, I also was paying attention to the fact that she was like literally where that line, the city line is, past your driveway at the end. She was like on it, 1 foot over it, 1 foot on it, kind of jumping back and forth. So she was in the street, not in the middle of the street, but she was right. And I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh. And I didn't want to startle her, in my mind, 4 houses away, because if I would have said, no, run back, somebody that's between 2 and 3, she could have been startled and ran right out in the street. And I was thinking, oh, and I didn't want to connection on stage. I'm sitting up staring at it. Like, y'all probably like, is something wrong with her? I didn't want to run towards her because I was at least still 2 houses, still kind of picking up speed a little bit. But I didn't want her to notice that I was coming faster because, stranger danger is stranger. I didn't want her to get scared and run, and then run the wrong way and run in the street and get hit. I would have died. I would be talking out this. I just died. I would not even a heart attack, a healthy heart, young. I think I just would have died. Just die, dead. So I thought, I better speed up without her detecting that that's what I'm doing. So in case I have to grab this little girl so that she won't run in the street. So my heart was just like racing. So she kept smiling, and I was kind of smiling so she could see my teeth, a house or 2 away. And I kind of was walking a little bit faster, and I was like, hey, where she could hear me. And she was just smiling and carrying on. And I was like, oh my God, she is so cute. But I was like, oh my God, you're same. And then luckily not one car. Must not have been a busy day. I don't know what day it was. It must have been a Sunday or Saturday. Not one car came down there in a very prominent neighborhood, not far from the main street, not far from the corner store. So strangely, no cars, thank God, were coming down that street. Nobody was out. And the closer I got to her, she just had the biggest, prettiest smile and those eyes. And I was glad I was close enough to grab her. There were no cars coming. So, okay, that part was over with. Because, oh, did I? First of all, excuse me, okay, and forgive me. The first one I was thinking, okay, maybe I didn't see that. The second, third belch or burp. Okay, so I ate right before I went live stream. Y'all see people eating and getting millions and hitting stuff all the time, and that's on them. Whatever. I wasn't eating for no hits. I was eating because I was hungry. But excuse me. I know y'all saw that. Anyway, so my concern about her safety, that part. Well, it wasn't totally over because I'm thinking, okay, and once I've gone walked past her, she still, why is she outside by herself? She's all of two and a half. So instinctively, I looked right towards her front door because I figured that's the house she belonged to. And their front door is open and they had a dark screen. And I could see the figure of an adult or a person. It looked like an adult male sitting right by that front door on the couch, looking directly at me. Like, I'm watching her and you too. And I was thinking to myself, well, thank God, really. But here's the problem. Whether he or she was watching their child or not, their beautiful child, even if it was a not so attractive child, I don't care what kind of child, it was a human being, a child, 2 years old, two and a half, three, just at the literally on in the street. Could have dashed out at anyone. What was it? Life insurance? I mean, let me not accuse people of stuff, but come on. Y'all know that's not making any sense. It was a well-to-do area. I went to a brand new well-to-do school. So, because I was bused there and we were the first busings. Okay, did I just tell my age? And you know what? This whole age thing, like my great-grandmother used to say, you live long enough, you'll get old too. And not only that, but the only way to keep from getting old, like people dismiss old people, don't care about them, don't care about their nursing homes, don't care if they're dying of COVID. They are old anyway, la, 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 la. Well, baby, the only way for you not to get old is for you to die young. My great-grandmother's words. Now, I know it's some unfortunate people out here that, they may think that suicide, having a death wish and dying young, on purpose and all of that for no apparent reason, or, I don't know, a competition or a challenge or to rebel or whatever, that's like no big deal or whatever. Well, it is always a big deal. The life you've been given is precious. It's a blessing. And if nobody is showing you that, that's a daggone shame, but it's a blessing to God. Here's a reason for you being here and something that you're feeling unloved and uncared about and angry life still matters to somebody for some reason, and mainly to God. So that's not a good decision to make at all. And please reach out. Reach out to this YouTube channel if you feeling like that, so that I can gonna be okay, because that's not okay. But anyway, this little girl, so I could tell, I couldn't hardly see because it was a dark screen. But it just seemed like I was being eyeballed, right? And I was thinking to myself, what you need to do is tell this little girl it was summertime. This was maybe June of summer. Ha! You need to tell your child to come inside, because I'm not fixing to touch her. Anybody finna blame me for nothing. Though she was so adorable, like picking up a cute, little tall dolls. I don't want to touch them people. Child. I don't care if she was black. I don't care what color she was. I don't touch about a kid. But in that, she was safe with me. I was just passing by. I wasn't stopping to visit or play with her tea. So I was going to keep walking, which means she was going to be back in danger. So whoever that was looking at me like, better not, bother my child or whatever. No, get your child in the house. If that's your method of supervision or babysitting, you must be on something. And you know how you can't hardly tell people what to do unless you're a figure of authority, preparing. And I was 18, so, and I don't even know they had child protective services and stuff way back then and stuff. And if they did, I didn't know what it was because at 18, you just coming off of the child yourself. How you know? So I didn't think, well, let me call the police. I mean, you could tell she was at the end of the driveway of her home and somebody was like right there and it looked to be a kind of pretty hunky man and I didn't want him coming out starting nothing with me, but the child wasn't safe. Why are you staring at me? So long story short, because I did say it was going to be a short example, that turned into a story. But well, it took me back. And so I had to take y'all with me. But anyway, look, I was smiling at her because one, I was so glad I was near her. She was safe. I already said that, I know. And she was still smiling. And after I made the dark screen eye contact with the alleged adult who was supposed to, that I didn't have any control over the situation as an 18-year-old because the parent, the alleged parent or adult or guardian, whoever was sitting there supposedly supervising. So I needed to go on my merry way. She was just looking, smiling at me. And by the time I was right even with her, I looked at her and the sun was shining brightly on her and on me and on her hair. It was just white, And I was like, hi, oh my gosh, pretty little girl. And she said with a big old smile, hi, nigger. And no more gum over here. That's not even fun. I know some of y'all. I didn't have to think twice if that's hi, nigger. With a big smile, still smile on face. As a child wasn't, but she couldn't have been 3. So I say 2.5. Point, I think we all get it from whatever I started 56 minutes ago talking about. Racism is taught. She didn't know me from nowhere. She was unsafe in all clown. And I'm talking about one of those long straight driveways. Not there's the door and there's them long driveways. All manners of could get snatched, hit, you name it, loose dog or something coming from another neighborhood up the street, or across the tracks, whatever. With a giant smile on her beautiful, gorgeous 2.5-year-old face. Hi, nigger. That's what I went to the military with. Racist encounter, I guess, in life with a 2.5-year-old. Not just overhearing it at the kitchen table, the word nigger, like kids overhear other cuss words and they repeat them. But how did she know to call me a nigger? Case closed on that one. Next. Recently, so I get to this other reason for this civil court. Just a few years ago in 2015. And there was a judge as there are in courts, right? As if you didn't know that. Started the hearing that we were at off with regards to why we were there. Him having had heard or been told or grazed the information to barely know what was going on, that I was a disabled veteran. And you know what he asked me? Which was not the crux of the case at all. It wasn't like a disabled veterans made mention for reasons that needed to be connection. Discussed that I was a disabled veteran. And you know what he said? Jokingly, what at that time it had been recently at that time, 2015, being reported from the groups that have been keeping up with this, with veteran suicides that were 22 per day. So those groups out there, you know who you are, and the people, y'all have seen those news reports. I'm not exactly sure what the count is now, but it's too many. I think I heard something other like 4 to 6 hundred a year or something. Whatever it is, it's too many. Y'all know it is. But as of a year or two ago, there are 22 million veterans. 22 million of us. Of that 22 million, 2.7 million had diagnosed PTSD, which is a fraction of 22 million. And you know that. Look at the math. And that's still too many. But I'm just saying, thank God, not like 20 million veterans with PTSD. Every veteran doesn't have PTSD. It's ignorant. Well, guess what that judge said to me in front of the other people in the court? I a veteran. I'm not going to quote him verbatim. I'm not stupid enough to do that on live world YouTube. And he was Judge Birdwell. See, I wasn't going to say his name, but just the thought of it pisses me off enough. Used to be the judge of the 348 court in Fort Worth, Texas. So since I said that, obviously, yeah. It's not like I'm lying on him. It's documented. Well documented. Within the, judicial system, of course. It's not like I ran to the news and somebody gave a darn enough to report it. But I'm saying it now. It was wrong then, it's wrong now. You know what he said to me? Of all of the problems that were going on as the reason for me even being there in the first place in a civil lawsuit, he said, what you got? PTSD. First of all, I don't have any diagnosed PTSD. And then what was so funny? As President-elect Biden just said in his speech, actually, he may not have said it on his speech, wrong on me. I was watching YouTube, and you know how to go back. It was a September Veterans Roundtable, something he was giving a talk to around Veterans Roundtable. He'll remember September of this year, 2020, when he was talking about, honoring veterans versus the disrespect and dishonor that, being a soldier or active duty. So he was, his son served, both of them served, regardless of whether it was Bo or Hunter. But of course, he's going to reference his deceased son. It's tragic. It's a loss. He still has Hunter. Flaws and all, those are both forever his baby boys. And the one that he has that he can touch, there's always room for improvement of family relationships, a person, and everything. The one he can no longer touch is the one that overloads his heart. He carries when you're alive, your children are alive, you're carrying them on your lap. I was told back in the day, if you lose them, they they burden they weigh down your heart. You carry them on your heart. So he references not only the pride in his that he had in his son and concerns, like any parent of when you're on active duty. I don't know who's that concerned about me when I was on active duty, but most normal thinking people are concerned about their loved ones when they're on active duty. Um, so he references him a lot, and I get it. As a veteran, a disabled veteran, a former soldier, I get it. I so get it. And every time I watch anybody, Gold Star families, other veterans, Trump supporters, Biden supporter party, whatever, they kind of let you know how I feel about party affiliations. It's fine and dandy as long as you don't start acting ignorant. And we already know it's a little late on that one, right? But each his own. Everybody has rights, especially in this country that are citizens, especially to, and even if you're a visitor or a tourist, to feel how you want to feel, vote for who you want to vote for, registered voters, and be affiliated however you want to be affiliated. It's ridiculous. You got families, tripping with each other because of who's voted this way and who voted that way, whatever. You guys are nuts. Your family blood and your family love and your friendships of years and years and neighborships and stuff are supposed to be strong enough. So you must not have been that good of friends in the first place. Your family relationship must not be all that. Your marriage sucks. I don't know what is going on, but if you can't get along from a political standpoint, you might well be out in the wild, with the lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, where they don't have the highest level of thinking that man has. So they fight and scrap for food and territory. Even though bears are super smart, don't test them. Lions, tigers, and bears and all them, they are very smart mammals. And the primates and stuff, the rich ones, but you know what I'm saying, the pets. So, any Hoosiers, yeah, what you got, PTSD? That's not funny. It wasn't funny then. It wasn't funny. Well, do you think I could say something to him in that courtroom and be held in contempt of court? That's why they have a bailiff back there with a gun to protect that judge and to protect us, protect the people in the galley if there are any witnesses, or protect court. You're supposed to have court decorum. What kind of court decorum was that for him to joke about whether or not I had PTSD? What if I did? What is that? What did that mean? That was, we were a black family being harmed by a white company. So it was a horrifically unfair situation. There's so much documentation out there. The movie needs to be made about it. A couple of books. Racist, ignorant, stupid, dumb. A judge now. What you got? PTSD. You know how many disabilities a veteran can have? Let alone like President Biden did, the unseen disabilities. A lot of people mention those. Rude. We're 1%. People that serve this country, the United States of America, are 1%. Before the COVID deaths, if I'm not mistaken, check it out. Everybody fact check stuff. There's about 352 million Americans. I guess that, on the census, or, citizens and whatnot. 352 million, somewhere around up in that. 352 million people that join military, 1% of that. And like he said, they shouldn't be considered suckers and losers. Who Trump say that? But if it's somewhere quoted and written and it's proven and what I said, okay, well, President Trump said a whole bunch of stuff that a lot of people don't agree with, including me. And he's also saying stuff that had me cracking up on the floor, even though everything is not funny, but sometimes the presentation of it could be like super funny. But that PTS thing, that wasn't funny. It's not funny. The judge was wrong. Y'all know it. And if you want to see the proof of it, let me know. Comment. Hmm. See, people do stuff and think you ain't gonna never tell them, then you never have the courage to tell you they're connected. So anyway, it's an hour and 10 minutes. I'm gonna close this one out. I just want to leave you guys with it. Is a parent to me. Look, is a parent to three blind mice that are deceased. That racism is real. Systemic racism, meaning a system of racism that is intermingled and intertwined within institutions, within their procedures. It is covert, meaning hidden, not overt, like in your face, like slavery. It went underground, but just not like the Underground Railroad that was helping black slaves enslaved. It went underground, and it's really kind of like and came out from under the ground and kind of just sitting somewhere between underground and just right at the ground, because it's not that hidden. If you look right at it, people have got buck wild with racism. But systemic racism is real. And so the part one of this YouTube channel, um, slavery and racism and everything in between, the history, the origin of it and stuff, a healing journey, slavery and racism and his healing journey. I had to think about what on an appeal of this civil case that you see in part 1, 2, and 3 on this channel. That's been another thing holding up me getting to part 2 of the healing journey of slavery and racism, because that's something near and dear to my heart. I'm very passionate about it. I want as much healing as possible for those that want it, that need it, that want to understand it, that need help with ideas and specific solutions, instead of saying, how do we heal? What do we do? What's next? How do we do this? Really? No, I'm talking about actually showing, telling, doing how to, and here we go, and here it is. I'm a doer. So I just believe in this. I'm decisive. Let's do this. So that's what the channel is about. Part 1 of the journey is 10 of those videos, minus the court stuff. That is a personal thing. If you watch the videos, you will see that I'm currently involved in. It's irritating as heckety poo. But the slavery and racism, a healing journey, that's for anybody and everybody across the world that wants to understand, how did this happen? How did slavery come to be? Over and above what you may know, things you've never heard of, factual documents that come from archives and factual sources and around the world, and then how did the racism come from that? Other than the obvious color differences, it was more to it than that. How did that slip in, and carry on so long? And what are these, covert or hidden, institutionalized, procedural, methodological, racist or racism things that people keep saying that you may not agree with, believe in, or know where they are, understand, especially if they're not affecting you. Of course, you may not know where they are, understand. Maybe you're white. So maybe you don't know where it is because you don't have to know where it is. And thereby, if you don't have to know where it is, you may not want to know where it is. But just because you don't have to know where it is, if you want to know where it is, and if you want to understand that it's true and it's real, exists, and you want some proof, in fact, most people usually want you to prove things to them, then this channel will help you with that. The part one sure will help you. There's part one videos, and there's so much more. And part two will begin in 1, 2, 3. ASAP, because I intend to continue my own healing journey. And anybody that's been going along with me, and if there's anything that should go, or I would love to go viral, other than the virus itself, the coronavirus, or a bunch of things that go viral. And praise God and clap for anybody that can make money or become infamous or make people smile or laugh or entertain people with viral videos about things that are lovely or entertaining and beautiful, whatever. No hate. But I would love for the virility of, if not through this channel, if not through my videos, my face, my wording, I would love for the information, the collective information that I have gathered from others and study and research that I'm emitting through this channel, sending you to their channels and documentaries and books and so forth, and archives and letters from way back and all of that. Well, I would love for the virility of that to occur. The information, which is horrific, a lot of it, and so is the COVID virus is horrific, but a cure for that would be wonderful, and thereby a cure for racism, or a vaccine anyway. That would at least help. And then you might have to get some booster shots for racism and systemic racism. I would love for that to be viral. That healing, on a healing journey, the healing that can come. Because what? If you look at the other videos, I have said and will continue to say, communication is key. Knowledge is power, and healing is necessary. And I would absolutely love for this healing journey, with which healing could and should come out of it. That's something I'd like to go viral. Even if I don't get the credit for it, even if it doesn't have a stamp on it that has my face or my name, if it just comes by the vehicle that I'm using and catches on, and somebody else and so forth, and hearts and minds feel loved and cared about, starting now, starting with me, not starting from slavery, can't get back yesteryear, centuries, not starting from when racism started, can't get back centuries, not started from the taking the overt of lynchings and all the things that led to the civil rights movements and marches and misfortune and rights and whatnot. And then just on and on the roller coaster ride. Oh, the web that has been woven, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the ugly. But they don't necessarily understand. And still may not care whether they understand or not, may not want to understand it. But for those that do want to understand it, want proof, evidence, want to heal. It's not like everything has to be in court. No. You want to heal your heart, your mind, your soul. Come along on this journey. Come along and ride on the fantastic voyage. Remember that? Some of y'all? I know some white people's like, what was that? Well, that was one of those things that wasn't necessarily for you all. Everything can't be for everybody. I am a black woman with some obvious Indian heritageness. Okay. African American slash slash. So I do care about black people. I do care about, it does matter to me what happens to us, to me, to them, to my family. It's just that I'm a person. It matters to me what happens to everybody. I can't speak for everybody else because I know everybody doesn't necessarily feel that same way. But I can tell you guys from the years I've been on this earth, and for a lot of black people I know that there are a whole lot of black people that do care about white people and other races of people and cultures, and they're not even thinking about y'all to the degree that you might be thinking they're thinking about you, to a negative degree of dislike or um, fear or anger or hatred, whatever, because they're too busy trying to survive. And if they're doing well, they want to keep doing well. And if they're not, they want to survive or they want to do well. They're not even thinking about your butt like that. Like you might be thinking that people are sitting around thinking about you like that. Like the world revolves around you. Maybe that's where the supremacy comes from. I'm supreme. The world revolves around. Okay, well, newsflash. I know a whole lot of people that it never even crosses their mind what white people are doing or not doing or thinking or one way or the other. They just have a world view of humans. So my kind of want to stop thinking that some kind of magical way, some kind of unicornish way, that the world revolves around you, because it doesn't. Because a lot of people are not even thinking about themselves or their own relatives or neighbors or so-called friends and best BFFs and carrying on. It's so many uh, people that betray um, their relatives, their so-called associates, their friends, their best friends, church members, co-workers, neighbors, marriages, relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, on a daily basis. Well, if that's the case, then what makes a whole particular race, one or the other, culture or another, think that somebody is thinking about you like that? Well, they're not even thinking about each other like that well, with respect or care. And if you're not guilty of any of those things, God, praise the Lord. God bless you. This is not one of those one size fits all, and if the shoe is fitting everybody. This is one of those, if the shoe fits, pick your size. And as a Christian who loves the Lord and loves other people, if you can't say hallelujah with me, say ouchie, because you're wrong. And God is going to judge you for their wrongness, not me. Because I'm zero. I'm not a zero. I didn't say I was a zero. But to God, who am I? I'm nothing. Nothing. Nobody. Because especially in these times, and I love me some folks, I can just start naming them off, and this video's already been long. But just to name a few, from just the entertainers and sports players and just movie stars, the ones back in the day, the ones now, and Nobel Peace Prize winners and civil rights movement. Love me some civil rights movement folks. Ooh, they were some strong people, sacrificed. I wanted to go ahead on and hurry up and get to part 2 of this journey so I could talk about what was the name of I'm wrong for that, but I'm a little close, stressed out. Help work on this appeal, y'all. 41 page and 9,300 words is a lot. Was the Fannie Lou Hamer? See, I don't have to ask. I just had to think of something. Talk about a strong woman, a strong person, like a superhuman for the right to vote. And I wanted to do that, be coming up on the election thing, and didn't even get a chance because I've been dealing with this dumb, stupid, crazy, ridiculous, but necessary fight for justice and systemic racism and unjust, unfair judicial system situation that I've been in. So I didn't have time because I've been trying to do this YouTube stuff and talking about Fannie Lou Hamer and the right to vote and stuff. Well, that would have been fine, and y'all would have been amazed about her story. Those y'all not aware of her, and we'd all got to vote, but the case would have been lost because we would have been working on the stuff to get it in on time. You can only do so much. So anyway, with that note, on this case thing, I'm gonna do its own little update video real quick. That's gonna be because I may or may not do any more on that one. Because anything that comes out of this appeal, it is on appeal level. This video 4 that's about to be done in a second, and whatever the result is, probably going to come sooner than later. And I don't know what it's going to be. I certainly know what is going on and what it should be and what's all messed up. It's all over the place, a hot mess. But I have no control over others. God is the God of all, the judge of all judges, and the avenger of all avengers. And all he wants us to do is seek justice and do our part. And we've done the best that we can and suffered and near died. And all we can do is hope for the best in God's will. And it's leave it in God's hand. The ball is in the other side's court. So I'll do a little quickie on that. But I just want to come on and say hello. It's been a minute. Alert everyone that I still intend and have the flavor of healing, though it's been difficult, a difficult, trying time in the nation and a difficult, trying time for me personally, this lawsuit. And not everything being about race and racism, but racism and all kinds of isms, you know. But, you know, Lord willing, see another moment, see another day, and we'll all be okay. And see that rhyme, see? And I have a nice little spots for you all on my the channel for the actual series, Slavery and Racism, A Healing Journey. I have a chant song for us that I wrote a few months ago now. I have to look at the dates that I wrote it. But again, haven't had a lot of time for us to be chanting and singing and carrying on because, you know, they have deadlines to meet in court. And that's super serious. So you guys know that. Because we've been representing ourselves without the assistance of lawyers. I've gotten some legal advice here now. You get a free consultation over the phone or whatever, but no lawyers. Because you can't make a lawyer take your case. It doesn't mean you don't have a good case. But lawyers, they get super busy, take lots of cases, and they make lots of money. It's a lot of work. They have a lot of people working at their law firms. I used to work at one a long time ago. And, things happen to people all the time. And just because something happened to you, have it on video, pretty much that doesn't necessarily mean some lawyer's going to bust out and just take your case and make it their party. And especially if there's no death or whatever, especially in civil law versus criminal law and police brutality and stuff. Oh my gosh, what an uphill battle, even if you have a lawyer in a civil case, a civil lawsuit. And, it's unfortunate, but, be of a certain skin color and just be of a certain regular class person, not somebody famous. A lot of people that we are fans of, they just have a team of lawyers on hand, around the corner, living in the back house, whatever, up the street, on speed dial. So they people can call their people, they can call a lawyer and take care of all kind of stuff. And half the time they don't even know what's going on or what they were accused of or how they're going to get out of it because they just kaboom, have the means, resources, and money to have some lawyer allegedly take care of it or represent them or whatever. And there's Nothing wrong with that as long as it's all legal and above board and fair to the rest of the Commonwealth and rest of the consumers and the public. But of course, it's not fair. Of course, people buy their way out of jail and problems that they've caused other people and everything else with their money and their prestige and their privileges and their connections and all that. So of course, it's not fair. Let's be real. Anywho. So no, if I sat here and told you what I've told you already, obviously I'm not a person of means, a person of known, it's a person of connections, you know, a person of nothing, you know, but what I've worked for and what I little I have, and praise the Lord for that. So I'm connected to the Lord. So actually I'm the person with the most high connections. But far as the earthly connections, well, I have zero connection. Okay. So, but you're not fixing to just do something to me and mine. And we just don't just let it go. We're not petty. Didn't have no weak heart or nothing. And it's expensive. It's hard. It's horrible. And then you get treated like crap. And what are you doing? Filing a lawsuit. Who do you think you are? When you have every constitutional right to represent yourself in any court. Y'all see Judge Judy and all that kind of stuff all the time. That's small claims court. You can go all the way up, even though the U.S. Supreme Court only hears a few cases per year, so chance of getting in there is but in your cities, counties, and states, and so forth and so on, up the chain of command with courts, those are the people's houses. Those are your courts. They belong to them, and you have a right to take your grievance, which is typically lawsuit or whatever it is, to the government, which is the court. They're part of the government. And you have a right to represent yourself, so that if they're overcharging you as far as you're concerned, or they're charging what typically any other attorneys charge, and you just feel like, I'm not feeling pay that kind of money, but I want my justice. I've got my evidence. I've got rights. I've got my proof. Well, you better get ready and put them roller skates on, because, honey, you in for a ride of your life. And that's exactly what we're going to take them on and for a ride. But with the help of the good Lord, the winner of all winners, vote of all votes, I believe that justice from injustice, racism and systemic racism and unfairness of all types will still prevail. God is bigger than us all, including the devil and any of his ways, whether people know that they are being used by Satan or not. God still reigns supreme. So if it's his will for us and anyone else out there to be victorious, and whatever you're doing, whatever race you are, you will be. And with that, nighty night. So I'll give y'all my little 1 cent slash and prep. Get y'all prepped up for part 2 of slavery and racism. A healing journey. Excuse me, see, leftovers from earlier. Something that we really need, no joke, because this is so sad and ugly. I feel more sorry for little kids because they don't know what's going on. It's so unfair to them. New babies that have been born, even during COVID, just fresh little lives that smell like baby powder. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Fresh wonders coming in, and, you know, with the hope of they'll stay protected, and then there'll be vaccines and whatnot. And this will be in history books, and things will kind of start getting back to normal as we go, and it goes on. And I feel sorry for them still because of this racist mess, you know, racism within families and neighbors and so forth and stuff behind. Let me leave y'all with this on that. Everybody that we voted for, and everybody that, you know, that is a part of the main governance and circles, nobody. They have way more than we do. So what we doing all of, so not me, but I'm talking about we as in, in general. What we doing arguing and carrying on one another? We mad at, they all live better than we do. What we upset about? So you argue with somebody from another party or within your family members or relationships, friendships, whatever, over your political preference or your party or the representatives. I don't see rich people arguing with each other about it, and that doesn't make any sense because what's they care? They rich like them, so whatever their governance is and whatever their policies are, long as it's not war that's gonna bomb up everybody and kill everybody with nuclear, then if it has anything to do with the governance of helping monetarily and educationally and medically and all that, rich people don't need that from the government. Is poor and average working white, black, white, African American, Indian, Asian, mixed, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, everybody. It's we the people, the majority of people that are average to a little above average to less than that and less that need the government to work for us as public servants, not people that are rich that are their servants. That would be the people that we're fans of. Famous people, people that are rich, this and that, duh. They got the same thing they got. Some of them got a whole lot more than the people in governments even. So they're friends with each other. They'll go over each other's houses and stuff. Let's just keep it real. Keep it 100. Shoot. Really? You know what? I'm about to end it here because when I said you start hearing keep it 100, and that was being nice because it's keep it 100. When you start hearing that, and I'm boss too, and all of that, and the nail, when you start, I don't know, people know what this is. I think most millennials and GN people, well, y'all, Gen Z people know what this means, and a lot of African Americans know when you start talking with your hands, like you move, when you start doing all that, it's time for you to go off live stream, especially if you're trying to keep the peace and be peaceful and even toned and, being on your best behavior as you should be, as I should be, being as a Christian who loves everybody and loves the Lord. Because stuff can start getting you agitated. Your eyes start bucking and all that. And you be done said something that you have to apologize for, or that it's unnecessary to say. And you mess your whole point up. Throw gasoline on fire. It's ridiculous. So, peace and love. What you not gonna say? And so, like Soul Train? Nope. But anyway, good talking. Seeing you guys again. I was a little rusty, but I'm back. Peace.